It was February of 2009. My mother was living in Oak Cliff, and I was living in Grand Prairie. And I was at work, and I received a phone call from my brother. He said, I just found our mother, and she's been killed, murdered, you know. I was shocked. I couldn't believe it, you know. So he said, get here as quick as you can. So I left work and I got there as quick as I could. And by the time I got there, they had taken her away, and detectives were asking questions, and I was just in shock and couldn't believe it, you know. And they told me some of the things a couple of days later, how she had died, and that she had been beaten and she had been shot. And, you know, she was 69 years old. All the man had to do was just push her to the side and take whatever he wanted. Instantly, of course, I started feeling hate. They charged him with burglary. About a month later, they let him go. And they told me that they had to let him go. And at that time, I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to get him instead of his family. Where I grew up, you know, I grew up in Oak Cliff, and a lot of violence around me. So I seen a lot of stuff like that. But it's just our way of doing things were to get even, you know. And well, I had a brother that was, at the time, he was in prison, and he was writing me. And he's telling me that, you know, we got to do something. When I get out, I'm going to do something. So if you don't do it, I'm going to do it. My friend told me, he said, hey, I'm with you, man. He said, I got all the guns we need. Let's go do it. A couple nights later, I had the most vivid dream I've ever had in my life. I was standing in my mother's bedroom. I mean, when I say this was a vivid dream, I could see the sun coming through the light, through the window, and I was looking down at the crime scene, and I could see stuff all over the floor, because in reality, they said she put up a fight. And my heart was just, I missed her. I was just hurting. And I heard voices in the living room, and I saw this gentleman. He was two guys. One was 6'5", and the other one was about 6 foot tall. And I automatically knew the one that was 6'5", he was the one that did it. And when I looked at them, they kind of like lowered their head, like in submission to me, like they were scared. And the one that was 6'5", he started crying, and he leaned down in my ear and he whispered. As he was crying, I started crying. He said, I'm so sorry for what I did to your mom. And I felt the sincerity, and I started consoling him. And I thought, wow, I'm consoling the man that killed my mom. And I woke up, and I had total peace. I don't have any anger. I don't have any hurt towards the man. About a year later, district attorney called me, said that a day before he was to go to trial, he plea bargained for life. At the trial, I let everyone go before me. But when I got up there and spoke to him, you know, I wanted to look him in his eye and let him know, but he kept his head lowered. I told him, I said, I'm not carrying any hate, unforgiveness. I don't want anything bad to happen to you. I told him, I said, I only want good for you. And I'm not mad at you, and I'm not angry, and I don't want to hurt you or your family. Big burden lift off of me. I'm talking about, man, because it would weigh on my heart every day. At work, I couldn't function sometimes, you know, because I'm thinking about how to hurt this man, how to hurt his family. I could have been in a lot of trouble, you know. something could have happened to me if I would have went over there and started shooting up the place, you know. The hurt that I felt that day that my brother called me and told me that, man, it was just a snowball. Just everything was just rolling into place as far as anger and bitterness. I was one that walked around with unforgiveness in my heart, and now I know that it helps me search even the smallest little thing of having unforgiveness, you know, whether it's your family or your job, because life is going to happen for us, and we're not always going to be walking on that mountain. We're going to go through those valleys. As of this day right now, and I still feel this way, I have no ill will towards that man. As a matter of fact, I've actually thought about getting in contact with him and seeing if there's anything that I can help him with while he's doing his time, you know. And I think I'm gonna follow down that road right there.